Alright, hello there. Welcome, guys, to my Grand Blue Fantasy tier list pick for the Grand Selector. If you haven't chosen your Grand Selector yet, this is just a little, idea of what I think, at least I was, brainstorming for a little bit, what I think are, the top picks. So everything we're going to start from, bottom up, and we're going to just, explain why real quickly. Everything at the bottom, no, don't even bother. These characters, some of them had their prime, some of them had their uses back in the day, but they're not really used as much. Mugen, I've seen a little bit of use as a substitute fodder, which honestly, there's a lot of other units that can do that, so you don't really have to worry about that. All the characters and weapons, I have specifically centered them out because these are like honorable mentions essentially. These are characters you get not because of the character themselves. Maybe Wamdis is a little good of a character, and maybe Shalam, but most of them you don't really use them ever. And the only reason you want them is usually for their weapon and literally nothing else. So no for those characters. To the C rank, so the reason why these characters are in C, so Olivia, she's a Guild War unit. She's basically been used in all of the past two Dark Guild Wars, so very good character. Vera, she is a tank that helps you stay alive. Folia lets you do certain setups. John is good for bonus damage, so the triple attack comes in Light Guild Wars. Golden Knight is some niche chain of temptation, comes with charge attack. Water Poseidon, for this next Water Guild War, if you don't have Water Poseidon and you want to use them for 0 button OTKs or 1 button OTKs, he's an option. I think you don't have to pick him. Yeah, honestly, you really don't have to pick him. I think he's also has a decent weapon, so I guess if you wanted to pick him for that, you could. Wilnez, he sees no real use anymore these days, not since all the new fire characters came out. And honestly, he's very slow. I mean, if you like Wilnez, you get him for Wilnez. You get him for that Valentine skin for anything, if anything. Grimnir, I don't. Did we get his rework? I really don't remember if we got his rework. Uh, Grimnir's still I still don't see him being really used. Sandy, his weapon is good. I was honestly gonna put Sandy down here in the weapons tab. It's just that him himself is actually a unit that I can see some people still using to this day, mainly against colorless or elementless bosses such as Dark Rapture Hard and all that stuff. Cagliostra, same ordeal. She has a very good weapon, and she herself can actually be seen used. Shiva, actually, he's here because I think he has a. I personally have been using him, and I think he's with his rework, he's all right. At least he's better than no. He used to be at no, but now he's a little bit higher now. I think he could potentially go up to B tier depending on how stuff moves around. But that's also me, the fire bias in me talking. B tier. So Lucifer, Lucio, he with his rework with his 5-star uncap, he actually became pretty decent and a staple in Celeste Omega actually. So if you want to use him at Celeste M3 grinding, he's pretty good. He's also pretty good at endgame grinding too. He's just a very good full auto character to have, and honestly, solid unit. Orchid, same thing. She's actually been used a little bit in the dark high level stuff now, but mostly she's used for Proto Bahamut farming, which is one of the farming you'll end up doing in this game most of your time, honestly. So she's actually part of the fire comp right now. She might be part of future comps because of the way that death works. So if we ever get a different element, I think because of her bonus damage, she'll always be kind of relevant. Unless we get another dark character that does something better than her, I don't think we will. But if we do, then maybe she gets replaced. But until then, Orchid stays there. Grand Narmaya, her weapon's pretty good, and her herself as a unit is very strong. Her with some Ricora and other characters, she becomes a big threat, does a lot of damage, especially in Guild Wars, and honestly like a solid unit for bursting. Galleon, I think she's very. I don't have Galleon, but I believe she is a solid support. I know she was used at Subaha a lot. Super Ultimate Bahamut, one of the high level bosses, and her weapon's good. If you have 3 of her weapons, you're using them in basically everything Earth. I think that might have changed. I don't know if they used the 3 Exaltos and 2 of her weapons now, or if it's still just 3 of her weapon. But her weapon's really, really good, and that's why she's up here. Hao Mao, same thing. Their daggers are really good. The character itself is really good too for charge attack reactivation and things. Feeny, this is as a fire main, very strong for fire. Her staff is basically a must-have for mana diaper comps, and you honestly, her as a character is really good. The only reason why I didn't want to put her in A is because it requires a little bit more setup to use Feeny than like the other characters above her. Ewiar is a solid unit. The dagger is really good. You can never go wrong with any of the supplemental weapons, so Ewiar is good. Lich, same thing. You can never go wrong with the supplemental weapons, and Lich herself is a good character too, so you can always run Lich. Luo, he has the same weapon as like Gallia and Halmao, and also just like a solid unit as well. The only reason why I didn't rate him higher is you need some more setup with him to actually like really fully utilize him. Unlike Uni, where her weapon's really good, again the supplemental, but her herself as a character, she takes a while to get set up. She's still a good unit. It's just that these days we have a lot of characters that are a little bit more faster. Ray is a solid for Dark, currently used in Mana Diver comps, currently used in the Revenant 2 raids, Dark comp, and also used in Subaha, used in a lot of things, used to swap out Dark characters. Ray's really solid, especially at like high level, and she's good at bursting as well with anything that's not Irash. But I do you need other units for Ray to be like really good, so that's why she's here and not A tier. Okay, moving on to the A tiers. So Sandalphon, Uriel, Maiko, Gabriel. They all three have the same stipulation. They all give a 20% boost, and they all have a particular weapon to their element. So Uriel, Maiko, and Gabriel all have the supplemental weapon, while Sandy has the Exalto. Orologia has the Exalto. Zeta has the Exalto. And then these three units over here, Nehan, I'm gonna skip her for now. Nehan is very solid as a unit for light, for bursting, for being able to maintain charge attack whenever you're doing charge attack comps. And then Kaguya, same thing for when you're able to do charge attack comps. And for Alexio, it's the same thing as well as those other two. It's just that Alexio takes a little bit more setup, so I actually think Alexio should go down here. I almost want to put Alexio at B tier. It's just that Alexio is just a little bit better than the ones down below. Honestly, A tier and B tier, you can mix and match, like go up and down depending on how you see things. But like the really solid units that you want to like look out for are the five at the top. So Percival, he came out like what 2 years ago, and he's still used in every single fire bursting comp. He's used at high level. He used at everything. So for fire, if you want to get a fire Percival, he's really strong. His weapon's really good. He himself is a good character. He does a lot of things. I know some people don't like him as a character. Like that's why some people don't pick him. But he himself is like a solid unit. Cosmos, I don't even know where to start with Cosmos. Cosmos, extremely strong, used in every single light team I've basically seen in the past like year. That's high level content, extremely good for doing solo content even. Incredible unit, honestly, like unreplaceable. I wish I could put Cosmos a little bit higher, but I think we gotta keep the power level here, or else this will go get all messed up. Fedjo, same thing. Fedjo's used everywhere with her bonus field that gives everybody, I think, 30% more triple attack. She gives CA reactivation. She gives a shield to everybody. She gives a bunch of debuffs. Very strong unit. We keep getting units that feel like they're gonna replace her, but they never end up doing it just yet. So Fedjo's still strong even after all this time, and I believe hers is the skill supplement weapon. So you still want to get Fedjo's regardless. Charlotta. So I'm biased here. Charlotta and Kaguya. So we're looking at Charlotta and Kaguya, right? Charlotta, Kaguya. Charlotta, the only reason why I'm putting her up here stronger is, first of all, she has the weapon, which is arguably a little bit more stronger because you can use it without the Exalto. But more than anything, it's the fact that she has a skill that basically says don't take any damage this turn, which specifically for some raids, there are situations where you will just die if you don't have that. So you need a way to avoid that damage, and she provides that. Also, she provides debuff removing. She provides charge bar gain up. She provides just straight up charge bar, and after the 10th turn, she becomes Omega strong because of like how much every damage skill she does, she can press it twice. So one of the damage skills removes a buff, so you can remove a buff twice, which is usually the condition for an omen. Omens are something you get into raids way later on. And then the other one is everybody gets charge bar, so she presses that twice. They get a lot of charge bar, and they are able to charge attack a lot again. Now, I do think on like full auto, like between Kaguya and Charlotte, they're really good together. They're extremely strong together. But if you had to make a choice, it's a really tough choice, honestly. I really want to put Kaguya up here. I kind of want to put Charlotte down as well. It's really tough. And then Europa. Oh, let me talk to you about Europa. So, we had an argument with like people for like a while, but Europa, I think, is such a strong, versatile unit because of the way she gives buffs to her allies. She gives a shield with fire switch. She gives flurry to herself. She gives the ally next to her double strike. She gives everybody 50% triple attack up when she charge attacks for like 3.5 turns. Extremely strong unit. This is one of the, if you full auto with this character, that's it. That's all you need. That's how strong this unit is. But yeah, so this is what my personal opinion for like the Grand Selector should be.